Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and you are looking at looks like a GIF from the show Yellowstone. I have watched all of Yellowstone, and that is one mean chick right there in Yellowstone. I would not want to mess with her. This Chad Steingraber is making an interesting point. He's talking about BlackRock being the tornado. BlackRock is the storm. I find it interesting where we are. BlackRock has just shown up on the scene after all these years. We've talked about BlackRock a lot over the last 5 years on this channel. And so I want to give people a little reminder here to start out about BlackRock. This is Jim Rickards. Remember Ice 9?
I was having dinner with a friend not long ago.
Remember, Jim Rickards advised that he was like a CIA contractor. This isn't some guy that doesn't know things.
I was having dinner with a friend not long ago in New York City. We met at a place called Oriole, which is in Midtown. My dinner companion that night was a senior advisor to BlackRock. As you may know, BlackRock is now the largest asset manager on the planet. It directly manages $5 trillion in assets, and it oversees another $11 trillion through its Aladdin platform. That means one firm controls more money than the GDPs of China, Russia, and Japan combined. Anyway, my dinner companion happens to work directly for BlackRock's CEO. As we nursed our white wine and the evening wore on, she let something slip. If I remember her words, she said something like, "They want to tell us we can't sell." What was she talking about? Who was she talking about? I placed a few calls, first to my contacts in Washington, then to a few people on Wall Street. Soon I was on a plane for a series of meetings to London, to Geneva, back to New York, then down to South America. As I began connecting the dots, a pattern emerged. It revealed a network of more than 189 individuals positioned inside the world's major financial institutions. Some of them hold senior positions inside the IMF, World Bank, and every central bank in the G20, including our own Federal Reserve. These elites share one vision, and they're about to make it a reality. That vision is one world order, one world taxation, and one world money. They've worked for years behind the scenes preparing to realize that vision. They've literally rigged the laws of international finance. Everything is basically in place right now, and there's essentially no way to stop this from happening. When the crisis hits, they'll flip the switch, freezing the global financial system. That will give them time to reset the world economy according to their vision. As the coming crisis unfolds, President Trump will be powerless to stop it. In fact, trying to stop them would probably weaken the president's power altogether.
That is amazing, Jim, really. So what did these elites want from your contact at BlackRock?
Basically, they want to classify BlackRock as too big to fail. The technical term is Systemically Important Financial Institution, or SIFI. That designation normally applies to banks, such as Bank of America. If your bank gets the SIFI label, it means the government will bail you out first in a crisis. But it also means you must turn over control of your bank until the crisis subsides. In this case, they're trying to reclassify BlackRock, an asset manager, as too
big to fail. Check this out. Now, by the way, I have the ultimate man on the street in Davos about BlackRock. I'm going to show it in DAIXRP.com. It is classic. There's some great lines in it. You're going to love it. Listen to this. Edo Farina asked Alexa about the world bridge.
Alexa, what is the world's bridge currency?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, XRP is the world bridge currency.
Well, that's that. Now, here's another interesting tweet from him. Look at this. And I want to make a point here. Have you noticed that nobody from Ethereum or Consensus is anywhere to be found in Davos? I find that interesting because Edo Farina's 4 predictions for the next 24 months. 1, Satoshi's identity is revealed, massively impacting Bitcoin. 2, Ethereum's corruption causes a black swan event taking down Ether and every crypto built on it. 3, USDT collapses. Folks, these are very interesting predictions right here. Wouldn't USD collapsing bring in USDC? Wouldn't Bitcoin and Ethereum collapsing bring in the ones, XRP and XLM? ETH market cap migrates towards XRP Ledger, Stellar, and others. Who do you see in Davos? You see Stellar, you see Circle, you see Hedera Hashgraph, you see Ripple. That's who you see. Those are interesting predictions. Now this is interesting too. Listen to this is a real good good point that's made here.
You know, it's funny. I'm known for saying that Bitcoin's the greatest distraction from one of the greatest disruptions in financial services, which is blockchain. So a lot of people took that as I'm not a believer in Bitcoin, and yet, you know, launching this ETF, you can see obviously the demand that's out there for Bitcoin, and I think there's a lot of reasons why that is. I think that one, from a blockchain standpoint, the ability to pay, Bitcoin's going to be a key component of that. And the technology is going to open up a lot of really interesting types of investment opportunities. We actually launched a tokenized money market fund. We're the first mutual fund first traditional asset manager to actually launch a 40 Act fund on a public blockchain, on the Stellar blockchain. So Bitcoin's just one of the suite of what we think are opportunities here. You know, one of the things that made me a believer is as I went around the world talking to people who would tell you, I had somebody who said, I keep 50% of my savings in Bitcoin because if I say the wrong thing in my country, I could have my assets confiscated. I remember talking to somebody in Israel who said, my parents and their parents had all of their assets confiscated. They keep a portion of it in Bitcoin. So there's a fear component to it that is considered almost a insurance or safety component. But I also think it's really important to fueling what is a next real opportunity in this blockchain world.
Right. So, I mean, the scenarios that you just outlined, that's the case for holding Bitcoin, the actual, you know, you have the keys to the security as opposed to investing in an ETF. Right, so there's a use case for both.
For sure, but that still keeps a floor on the price, right? So it keeps on the floor on the price. And then if you've actually tried to acquire and deal with the keys, it's really complicated, right? I mean, I did it at one point, and then I was trying to actually figure out how to get back in, and it's hard. And so being able to open it up and have access to that through.
Yep, we need to have access for the grandparents and the people that want to manage their own keys. Stuart Alderati, if the SEC during the Howey oral argument had told the Supreme Court that folks were investing in an ecosystem of oranges, they would have been summarily thrown out of the courtroom. The SEC has strayed so far from the law, it would be laughable if it weren't so sad and damaging. There's a little exchange from that. Now check this out. This is Jesse Waters talking about Davos. He's on Fox News. And he's talking about how they're trying to get a new world order. Listen to this.
And once the mascot's finished, it's time to plan the future. Not their futures, your future.
That order seems to not be the order anymore. We are on the way to a new order, so we are between orders.
A new world order. So what will that look like? But the point is, you have nothing to be worried about. Well, unless you like to eat.
In most of Asia, rice is still grown with traditional methods, which requires flooding the fields. And when you flood the fields, you basically kill the weeds with water, which sounds good, except it takes huge amounts of water. They basically decompose underwater, and when they do that, they release methane. And so actually rice production is one of the largest producers of methane, which is, you know, many times more toxic in terms of greenhouse gas emissions.
Rice is like the top crop in the world. What are they going to replace it with? Lab rice. Yum. Now, so what are the farmers and the fishermen going to do? Well, they don't need jobs because they'll be arrested.
We have a kind of cultural, very ingrained habit of not taking damage to nature as seriously as we take damage to people and property. You know, if you're campaigning for human rights, at least you know mass murder, torture, all of these things are serious crimes. But there's no equivalent in the environmental space. With ecocide, what we see is actually what people are trying to do, what businesses are trying to do is make money, is farm, is fish, is do all of these things that are, producing energy and so on. What's missing is the awareness and the conscience around the side effects, around the collateral damage.
Imagine you're taking your son fishing this weekend, got your lines in the water. Next thing you know, you're in handcuffs for ecocide.
That is crazy. What in the world? What planet are these people from? I don't want a new world order like that. Don't know about you. Now, in DAIXRP.com, I'm about to show you a great clip of one of these BlackRock executives getting it as he walks down the street in Davos. We're also going to show you Christine Lagarde getting a few questions herself. Strap in. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. Hit the like button and tell your friends and family to look at this right here. I won't say a word. I'll just let you read it. Okay, here we go.